they go down to Cobo Hall and they play in a tournament down in Cobo. And if you were a player or you were a manager in high school, then you go down there and you support this team. Like that's what a lot of the adults do in Clarkston. Well, these kids are all now 20s, right? And I get a call from Dan's sister, and she said, "Do you know where my brother's at?" I said, "No, it was a Saturday evening." I'm like, "No?" And she goes, "He's in Windsor. Do you think he's okay?" After you get done watching the game, then you drive across a tunnel, because in Detroit, it's like literally you could throw a rock to hit Windsor. And so when they got back, Jason, I happened to see Jason at the grocery store, and he looked at me and he goes, "He'll never talk." I go, "What are you talking about?" He goes, "No, he'll never tell you what happened." And Danny's like a canary. He tells you everything. And like the first time I saw Danny, because he was in our secondary transition program, he looks at me and he goes, "I can tell you nothing." And so I'm going to show you the clip of Jason and Dan. We're going to do this interview together. Now, we did ask him about what happened in Windsor, and now Danny's singing like a canary, because this is about 5 years later after the incident occurred. And come to find out, they weren't at the casino, which was scarier.
How about, did you see any of the other peer-to-peer support kids? Did you see any of the late kids moving around with Dan throughout the day that maybe helped you kind of figure out things were going to be all right? Or?
Yeah, I mean, when you see him, somebody's always with him or whatever. And
how about the reaction from other kids? Obviously, you and Dan had a connection with the sports. Did you see any?
I mean, all my friends want to get to know him, be his buddy too.
And how about the teasing? Was there in
Initially, I mean, there was some at first.
Yes.
But
as the years went on,
it just, it goes away.
slowly and slowly.
So can we move on? So we'll move on past middle school. What about high school? And I know you guys ended up spending a lot of time together during the high school years.
Yeah. Basketball practice was one thing.
Football practice,
Football, baseball.
And
Yeah.
how was it that you guys ended up spending so much time together?
Well,
Through sports.
yeah, well, he was a manager, and during freshman and JV, when we were young in high school, we always would get stuff with the late practice. And Dan was always on Holly or whatever, so I just recommended, hey, you can come to my house, hang out with me until go to practice.
There was a tape of basketball bloopers, and then there was the Marines at Tarawa.
The Three Stooges.
Three Stooges.
Maybe watch that every day.
Yeah. Semper Fidelis.
And I know my grandpa came attached to him.
Yeah.
My grandpa would always ask me all types of questions.
Yes.
How did you assimilate Dan into your family? I mean, what was your role as far as trying to get them to understand?
That was kind of tough. First, they're like, "Why do you want to bring him home?" Because he's my buddy. He needs somewhere to go. And he's a manager. He has to be at practice. And I'm like, "Well, we don't have nothing wrong with it. Just tell him to bring his own food." I don't know. And then seeing him ramble off stuff made my grandpa interested in him. I think you and my grandpa became friends too.
Yeah.
So throughout this time, like, as far as the other people you worked with on the sports teams, did you see that other people had experiences with Dan, like you were having experiences that were outside of the typical school day?
Well, it was very much the same thing when I went to the Andrezzo's house. And,
Did they have better videos, or did Frank have better videos?
well, there was a tape at the Andrezzo's house called Hollywood Bloopers and Censor, with featuring Porky Pig featuring the guy who, of course, did a car commercial for a Bay Area car dealer, as well as Porky Pig's infamous nailing himself while trying to nail you know what the idea was.
Did you like the Andrezzo's videos better than the Frank's videos?
No, Semper Fidelis is the best.
I enjoyed it as much as I had enjoyed the Frank's ones.
So as far as like then you guys kind of are through high school and stuff, what about like, you know, dances and the prom and the all-night parties and all that stuff that you go through in high school? Is there, I mean, how did that work between the guys that you all hung out with and you know, where did Dan fit into that?
Dan made it to just about everything that you make some of that stuff.
I made it to the prom, and I made it to the all-night senior party. I couldn't go to homecoming.
And when I was there or whatever, and I don't know, since I was there with a girl or whatever at like prom or whatever, and I remember seeing Dan, but the whole night I wasn't with him, but every time you see him, it's like one of my friends or one of the other league students just taking the time out for a couple minutes hanging out, making him feel welcome.
So let's talk about the infamous Canada trip.
We went to, there was a basketball game in Detroit that the Clarkston Wolves were playing. And after the game, we went to Canada.
So can I stop you just for a second?
Yes.
What in your right mind thought it was okay to take Dan across international lines?
I called somebody and asked somebody who was it. Was it Tim? Or was it one of you guys?
Probably Tim.
Somebody
Didn't
said,
call anybody, by the way.
so we did it.
19, of course. In Canada, you have to be 19 to drink beer. In the U.S., you have to be 21.
A little gambling too, didn't we?
We didn't gamble.
Did you have one?
Yes.
Where'd you stay?
You stay at my house afterwards?
I stayed at the Andrezzo's home.
That's right. I remember leaving those when I was sleeping. We weren't even in Michigan yet, and I looked over, he's like, just knocked out.
Yeah.
Just a couple things. So this is Dan when he was in high school, and this is Mark, the Andrezzo, one of the Andrezzo kids. And then Mark sent me this picture, so this is 20 years later. They're still hanging out, so this is Mark as an adult, and that's Dan, and that's Mark's two kids. And Mark always swings by Dan's house, and Dan loves atlases and maps and that kind of stuff, and so he's always got a fistful of those things. So this was when Clarkston was in the state championship for football. And again, they're just they're a pretty tight group of kids. And this is what Danny wrote after they won the championship down at Ford Field. He said, "Attention, Oakland County Sheriff's deputies. Please guard Independence Street from looters and car turners. The Wolves and Santa Claus may need one of them this Tuesday." And I don't know if you guys know this, but 3 days after there's a championship, if it's a professional championship, 3 days after is when the parade is, and he's trying to warn the Oakland County Sheriffs we might have some problems on that day. So that was his thing. And he held it up in the window the entire ride home. Dan's had some stuff going on in his life lately. His older sister, who's his guardian, she has a physical disability. So she has a physical disability. Dan's older sister has a cognitive impairment. Dan has a twin brother with autism. So Russell and Dan are twins. The oldest sister, and both of his parents have passed away. So Kim kind of runs the show. And so she does a really amazing job. And she called me over the Christmas break, and she has stage 3 breast cancer. And so I do whatever I do whenever I get a jam, and I just call people that knew him when he was in high school. And so this is Robin, was one of his teachers, Lasan, and then this is Mark. And Mark came out to my house, and while we're there, he texts this out to 35 of the kids that graduated with Dan. It just says, "I hope this note finds you well. Those attached have expressed interest in helping out, having fun with our old friend Dan Gates. What's not to like, right? I think the best way we can do this is for it to be self-directed, meaning do as much as you can or want to do when you can or want to. We can use this as a thread to communicate ideas or incorporate him into plans we have upcoming. Even something as little as going out for lunch with him would be a game changer for Dan. As you know, he's into all kinds of stuff and gave me a list of some things he could use help with, and I'm sure the list will grow. Craft loops, antenna for his TV, batteries for his radio, and a new road atlases, and a new laptop, rubber bands for handmade rainbow bracelets. Do you see how it's all equal? Like there's he takes texts and calls at this number. Let me know about your thoughts or ideas. So this was a Christmas party where you had to dress up like somebody from a Christmas movie. So he's that crazy uncle in Christmas Vacation. And here's Dan. Like, this is 20 years later. So it's still happening. Kim has chemo. And so what they do is they have that on a rotating basis. And on the day after she has chemo, somebody from this group will go get Dan. Russell's pretty quiet, Danny's really busy, and she just needs to rest. And so they just do this on a rotating basis and make sure that he has opportunities outside the home so that Kim can figure some stuff out. 30 years later, folks, 25 years later, it's still happening. So I think that when people say, what's this look like long term, I don't know that any of us know that for sure. I don't think we do. I do think that this is a pretty amazing group of people. And, you know, like, because they don't look like they looked when they were kids. This guy is like a medical doctor. Like, Mark is telling me, like, who these people are, and I'm like, that's him? Like, that was him? Because they're all grown up and smart and doing all really good stuff. So we need to eat lunch. Parents and students with autism, could you please go first? Or families, if your family's here. And then we'll come back at 12:30.
I was just thinking too,